Some of my biggest takeaways from field experience were finding what level each of the students were at and meeting them at their level, was learning how to control your classroom, and also how important the connections throughout your school is important in being a teacher. Where I learned about meeting with your students was a lot at New Albany Middle School with my cooperating teacher, Kim Hurst. At the middle school age, she talked about how all the students were at very different musical levels in their development, and how that some would need extra help outside of school, where she was very willing to work with them, especially during the audition times for solos or for musicals that were coming up. She was willing to help tutor them in some of their theory work, such as learning how to place the sharps or flats properly. She was really willing to put the extra effort forward so that her students could be successful. Where I learned about classroom control was at Beechwood Elementary with my cooperating teacher there, Casey Burt. We had a lot of EDS students, which stood for emotionally distressed students. They were very prone to acting out in class, where Casey would simply ask their aide to come over and escort them out of the classroom for the day, and they could try again at their next class period. If the EDS students were doing well, they would get a score of between 4 and 5 usually. They would get a score between 1 and 5 each day, and Casey would sign in their book on a rating scale to see how well they did, so they could take it home and show their parents and get a signature so their parents knew how they were doing in class that day. Another reward system that she used in her classroom was a game day reward. So a game day would be if they got 20 stickers on the wall on their cards, they could get a game day for a day where they would just play musical games. But the kids didn't realize that even though they got 2 stickers per good day of class, they could only win a game day at least every 10 weeks. So it was a great motivator for the kids to get to work and to work hard in their class, but without taking a lot of extra time out of your classroom. So they were working towards a reward that they would be satisfied and that you would also be satisfied with. Another thing that I learned about at Beechwood Elementary was how to connect with the other teachers and administrators in your building. Casey would often ask for help with projects or to borrow supplies for things that she needed to do. So she needed a picture of a world map for some photos that she was taking to go along with the song so that she could create a slideshow. And as soon as she asked, one of the teachers showed up with a map at her door and they were ready to go. Another thing that happened was she actually had a parent threaten her in a way. She called her on the phone and was extremely rude and was complaining about how other students were treating her student on Casey's watch, and so she was being very rude to Casey. So Casey went to her principal and asked what they could do, and the principal actually worked to get the parent completely banned from the school, although we had learned that at her son's previous school she was already banned from that school for the same reason. So I think it's very important to have that connection with your administration, just in case something that bad happens to you, and that's something that I learned is something you really need to work at. She had to put in years and years of work to get this close with everybody in her building, but in the end, it's obviously worth it. So I believe those were the biggest takebacks that I took from field experience. And I'm very lucky to have the experiences that I did, and thank you for watching.